In today's video, I will be introducing the Grifter scale. This is a scale where I rate YouTube's biggest finance content creators on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being the highest. And before some of you guys say it, because I already know we have some emotional crybabies who are going to say that, oh, I'm just making this video because I'm hating, or I'm just trying to get views, or my channel's small and nobody cares, and blah, blah, blah. But to be completely honest with you guys, that's actually really not why I'm doing this. The real reason why I'm doing this is because there are a lot of new investors who unfortunately got taken advantage of in 2021. And believe it or not, guys, there actually are new people getting in the stocks, learning about investing, and learning about building wealth, even in 2022 in the midst of this terrible bear market. And unfortunately, when they go on YouTube and they type in stocks or investing or how to, the first people that pop up, unfortunately, are actually not the good content creators out there. It's actually the people who make the most entertaining content, the people who give the worst advice and the worst strategies on how to invest in the stock market. However, their content is extremely entertaining. And so because of that, YouTube often pushes the bad people, the people who are actually going to make you lose money. However, if you type in stocks or anything, when I do it on that channel, it's the same usual suspects. It's all these guys, Meet Kevin, Jeremy LaFave, Larry Jones, Stockmo, all the guys with 500,000 subscribers who give really, really bad strategy, information, and advice. Those are all of the people that pop up in the YouTube algorithm. So contrary to some of the belief of some of the crybabies in the comments that I know I'm going to get, this video really is to help the new investors. I want to show you guys who I believe are the better, more reasonable, good content creators in the YouTube finance space who will actually help you make money, as opposed to the grifters who are just taking advantage of people who really don't know how to invest and coming up with BS instead of actually looking at financials and really analyzing a stock, just saying, oh, the CEO said that the company is growing and they're expanding into Canada and blah, blah, blah. You know, just surface level stuff that's not really investing, you know, just the unsophisticated stuff that's not going to help anybody, you know, not real research, right? So anyway, let's go ahead and get right into this video. Here we go. The first finance YouTuber we are going to start off with and rate from 1 to 10 on the Grifter scale is Meet Kevin. First, we're going to start off with the rating on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being maximum insane high level grifter and 1 being this guy's not really a grifter. I am giving Meet Kevin a 10. Meet Kevin is not someone that any newbie investor should be watching. Nobody should be buying his course, taking any sort of financial advice, or listening to any of his stock recommendations. We could break Meet Kevin's history down very simply. I've been watching Meet Kevin for about 2 years, so let me tell you what happened. This is how this guy started. Meet Kevin was a real estate guy who worked very hard to build his YouTube channel and had a little bit of controversy in the past, you know, got sued by Grant Cardone and had some issues with Dave Ramsey. And, you know, he's really been out there. He's done some insane things to grow his channel, and it actually worked. So he started off in real estate. Then how Meet Kevin's channel actually exploded was 2 things. One, Graham Steffens, who everybody knows, we're going to talk about him in this video as well, started to help Meet Kevin's channel. So Meet Kevin got help from Graham Steffens, and he started getting subscribers from that. And then the other way that Meet Kevin got such a huge following was during the height of the pandemic. Meet Kevin grew his channel by covering literally the most popular topics out there in the world. He started off doing stimulus check videos. He started to explain exactly what's in the stimulus check, what the stimulus check does, all the different policies and when you're going to get it and all that. He basically just started doing stimulus check updates. From then on, he realized that the stock market had turned into a bull market, a raging, insane, crazy bull market. And so from then, he pivoted his channel from real estate to stocks. But the problem is, if you look at Meet Kevin's channel, and if you look at his history, most of his stock picks are in the gutter. Most of his stock picks were not good investments. And I want to make this very clear so people can really understand that this really is a fair video. I'm not saying it's bad to be wrong. We've all been wrong. I've been wrong. I'm not saying that it's bad to pick certain stocks and those stocks don't go well. Because let's be honest, there are some fantastic companies out here that have not done well this year simply because we're in a bear market. I mean, can anybody really debate that Facebook's not a good company? or Starbucks or Apple or Microsoft. These are fantastic, phenomenal companies that are all down anywhere from 20 to 30 to sometimes even 40%. Here is the reason why I say to me, Kevin is a terrible investor and stock picker, right? It's not that his stocks are down. It's the fact that if you are a seasoned investor and you actually do research on the stocks that he picked in 2021, you will realize that fundamentally, these are bad stocks. Fundamentally, these are not good companies. Most of the companies me, Kevin, likes have bad management, have terrible financials, are not that great in terms of their competition. Like they're not performing that well in terms of their competition. In other words, you are probably better off investing in the competition than them. And for the most part are unprofitable hype stocks. That's really what you got when you're dealing with me, Kevin. And so that's the reason why I have to give me, Kevin, a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale. Now, why does me, Kevin, get a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale? Well, he charges $4,000 for an hour phone call. He charges about $900 to $1,000 for a 20-minute phone call or something like that. So he's charging money for phone calls, but doesn't know what he's doing when it comes to investing. And the results prove themselves. If you look at all of me, Kevin's stocks, literally all of them have done terrible. And again, I'm not talking about the fact, I'm not calling him a grifter because all of his stocks have done bad. If you look at the fundamentals of his stocks, they have not done well. Now, had me, Kevin, said, oh, I'm buying Apple, Google, Microsoft, Facebook, I would not be so hard on the guy and I would not call him a grifter. Even though a lot of those stocks, Microsoft, Apple, Google, Facebook, are all down tremendously, the key that I want you guys to understand is those are still good companies. When we actually look at the companies that me, Kevin, talked about, they are fundamentally bad companies. Case in point, Robinhood, EXPI, Matterport, Shift Technologies, Outlet, Hippo Insurance, AMC. He did buy into AMC. Yes. GameStop. He did buy into GameStop. A lot of these meme and momentum stocks that went to the moon in 2021 just to come crashing down and lose everybody all their money, he had money in. You know what else me, Kevin, invested in? He invested in BlockFi. Now, BlockFi is not a public company. I want to make that very clear. They're private, but he invested in BlockFi. You want to know what else me, Kevin, invested in? He invested in Voyager Digital. Yes. You see how all this stuff is starting to pile up? So that is why he is a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale. When you call a bunch of terrible stocks, but you have courses and you're swindling people into your courses when you know nothing about investing, yes, that is a grifter. Because remember, guys, what is a grifter? What is the definition? Well, a grifter is simply a con man. And when you know absolutely nothing about what you're talking about and you have a track record of making people lose money, not make money, but making them lose money, then yes, I have to call him a grifter. And that is why on the grifter scale, me, Kevin, gets a 10 out of 10. The next person I want to discuss on the grifter scale is Jeremy LaFeve. And we're going to keep these short because there's so many people to go over. We're not going to spend as much time on everybody. We're going to keep Jeremy very, very simple. Jeremy is also a 10 out of 10. That is the rating I give for him. I rate him a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale, which is the highest rating you can get on that scale. The reason why Jeremy gets this is very simple. He has an entire operation, which in my opinion is towing the line of legality a little bit. You know, he's kind of in that gray area of whether he can even do this. But basically, he has this group, this chat called Financial Fortress. And what happens is you have to apply to be in it. Once you apply, one of his representatives that he pays calls you. And I've actually spoken on the phone with these people before, and I've heard them say that we basically are assuring that if you trade with us and take our picks and learn from us, Jeremy LaFave can basically guarantee that you will beat the market and you'll get anywhere between a 20 to 30% return on the stock market. That is an automatic grifter to me when you are promising people that if they join your financial fortress, they will be able to essentially perform better in the stock market than Warren Buffett, which is basically the returns that they are promising. And it's also insane because when you look at what Jeremy promises in this financial fortress trading group, but then you look at how he has performed himself, you can actually see that Jeremy is actually one of the worst stock pickers in history. I mean, for crying out loud, let's just look at some of his stocks, which, by the way, once again, just because a stock goes down doesn't mean it's a bad company. However, once you graduate to becoming a more sophisticated investor and you understand how to read financial reports and how to actually research a stock, you understand the fact that Jeremy, for the most part, talks about and often invest in low quality companies, low quality stocks that are unprofitable, that are just downright not great companies and have terrible financials. Case in point, Tattooed Chef. Case in point, Voyager Digital, where he lost $250,000 of his money. The Honest Company, Smile Direct Club, Planet 13, very good food company. The list goes on. Jeremy is a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale for coming on here and not knowing what the flapjack you're talking about when it comes to stocks and investing, but you have the audacity to have an entire course where your representatives get on the phone and give the people you're trying to dupe into your little scheme these BS projections on how well they're going to perform in the market. It is absolutely insane, and for that reason, Jeremy is a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale. Stockmo is the next person on the list. As a matter of fact, I'm going to group 3 people together. As a matter of fact, I'm going to group 4 because they all kind of like each other. I'm going to put all 4 of these people in the same category. You've got Chris Sane, who's got about 500,000 subscribers. You've got Stockmo, who's got about 500,000 subscribers. Stock Up with Larry Jones, 500,000 subscribers. And Keenan Grace, 500,000 subscribers. Now, all 4 of these people are exactly the same. And, well, I guess Larry's going to get a little bit of a different rating, but the other 3 are going to get 10. So, Chris Sane is a 10 out of 10 on the grifter scale, which means bad, stay away, don't watch, don't listen to, stay far away, get the channel off your feed. So Chris Sane, Stockmo, and Keenan Grace are all 10s out of 10s. They all talk about all the momentum hype stocks that are just bad companies fundamentally. AMC, GameStop, Mullen, all that. Well, Larry Jones talks about that too, so maybe he is in that category. But the reason why I'm going to give Larry Jones a 7, I'm going to tell you why. Larry Jones gets a 7 out of 10 on the grifter scale because at the very least, even though Larry doesn't know anything about stocks or what he's talking about, and I can prove to you guys that he doesn't. If you just watch his videos consistently, you will see that the guy does zero research on any stocks, just does all this blah, blah, blah talk, not really saying anything. It's like they're talking, but they're not really saying anything of substance. Never pulls up any financial statements, never does any discounted cash flow models, no type of research on the stock, and he pumped a bunch of terrible stocks. He pumped a stock called SOS Limited, which was a crypto mining company. Larry Jones talked about that. He talked about a stock called Mullen Automotive. He pumped that. He pumped another penny stock called Drive Shack. He's talked about a bunch of these terrible garbage stocks on his channel, but Larry Jones doesn't have a Discord or a Patreon or one of those grifty things that these YouTubers use to suck you in and get their buy and sell alerts. So for that reason specifically, even though Larry is pretty bad, he's just as bad as some of these guys, I'm not going to exactly give him a 10. He will get a 7. Now, Chris Sane, Stockmo, Keenan Grace all have Discords, all have paid chats. They all pump terrible stocks. So basically, they suckered in a lot of people in 2021 during the bubble into paying for their Patreon, $10, $20, $100 a month, whatever it is, to get their buy and sell alerts just to lose money. Chris Sane basically talks about every hype stock you could think of. Any stock that gains momentum and turns to a hype stock, Chris Sane talks about on his channel so he could get views. Stockmo specializes in talking about Tesla. NEO is one of his big ones. And if you look at Stockmo's early videos in 2021, you will actually see that he talked about a lot of penny stocks like Workhorse and some of these other weird, strange stocks. A bunch of EV companies and things like that ended up not doing well and were just a bunch of speculative assets. So Stockmo is also a grifter and a terrible person too. Keenan Grace is another one. He literally just talks about Shiba Inu, AMC, GameStop, all the meme stocks and stuff on his channel too. Like I said, these guys all have insane followings. I have no idea how they have it, but trust me, these guys are terrible, horrible investors, know nothing about stocks, and forget about outperforming the market. Remember, these guys' goal is not to outperform the market. It's to trick you into thinking that they can outperform the market so you can pay money into their real business, which is the courses, the Patreon. That's their real business. The Patreon, the courses is easy. income, monthly income, because you're essentially paying them $10, $20, $30, $100 a month for their buy and sell alerts. That's more lucrative than YouTube, where the views kind of teeter totter and the sponsorships will eventually go away and all that crap. So just remember this: with all these grifters, their main business is the courses, the Patreon. YouTube is the avenue to get more eyes. It's like their marketing tool. It's the way. Now they make money from YouTube too. Don't get me wrong. Some of these guys make crazy money from YouTube, but the real business is the courses. And so, yeah, those are all the grifters. Moving on to the next phase of the world's biggest finance YouTubers, we have Ricky Gutierrez. He is a popular day trader who basically has, I think, 1 million subscribers on YouTube. He's this guy who got very popular because I guess he became a multimillionaire from day trading at like the age of like 20 or something. He was really, really young. I heard about him a few years ago, so I know who that is. But on the grifter scale, Ricky Gutierrez gets a 10 out of 10, hands down. I have some questions about if he's actually a real day trader, like if he actually like really makes money doing that, or if he actually just makes money from the courses that he sells, like how to teach you how to day trade and the YouTube revenue, which honestly is what I think is how he really makes his money. That's my honest opinion. But the stocks he recommends are not that great either. He recommends a wide variety of all kind of stocks. He actually does like this little thing where he recommends like the 10 best stocks and all that, and they're all normally pretty bad stocks. So Ricky Gutierrez. But the reason why he gets the grifter thing is because I'm not going to say he's the worst guy in the world, and I'm not super familiar with his content as I am with some of the others, but I have checked out his content, and for what I can see, he is a grifter, especially the fact that he really tries to push his courses and get you to learn how to day trade, which, by the way, you should never, ever day trade. Extremely risky. You're very likely going to lose all your money. Don't follow anybody that tells you, I made $1 million day trading. Day. Yeah, right. Liar. A lot of these people are lying. Okay, moving on. We're starting to move on into the more reasonable, the better batch of YouTube finance people. So now we're going to talk about everything money. You got Paul, Seth, and I forget what the other guy's name is, but you have those three guys, right? Everything money on the grifter scale. And the sad thing is I actually like everything money. However, you know how we do it on this channel. We keep it real. So on the grifter scale, even though I like them and I would love to give them a 1, I cannot give them a 1. They have to get a 4. I'm going to give them a 4. There is some grift going on. I'm not going to lie to you. There is some grift going on. They try to get you to buy their 8-pillar software to help teach you how to invest. But the issue I have with that is the 8-pillar software, at least from what I've been told, is kind of basic. It's like a basic DCF model. It's not anything all that special. And I just always have a problem with people who try to get you into their little fancy models when they don't have the credentials to back it. Now, if you're some big-time Wall Street guy, I mean, don't get me wrong, a lot of big-time Wall Street guys are actually grifters too. So never mind, scratch that. The bottom line is it's best for you to learn how to invest on your own. That way you can apply your own investing journey based on your own financial situation. That's the part that they never explain. Investing is always going to be different depending on your individual circumstances and financial situation. You know, the way somebody like me, 27 years old, no kids, pretty decent income, invest is going to be way different than somebody who's 40 years old, working minimum wage and has 4 kids. You know what I mean? It's just everybody has different circumstances. You got to keep that in mind. But like I said, I don't think everything money's bad, you know, but they're also not getting a 1 on the grifter scale. So I want to make this very clear. I'm not calling them a grifter, right? I think like a 6 or above, over 5 is like a pure grifter. I think under that is like there's some grifty tendencies, but I'm not going to full on call them a grifter. I actually like their channel. I think it's a good channel to follow, and I do think that they give good work, but I'm not so sure about that 8 pillars thing. I'm just not, and I hope they don't take offense because I love the channel, but hey, this is my opinion. Moving on to the next person, we have the traveling trader. Now, the traveling trader is actually going to get a lower grade than everything money. I actually love the traveling trader. I think he gives great advice. Well, not financial advice, right? But whatever. He makes great YouTube videos. He gives great information, and I actually like his stock picks. Believe it or not, even though his name is the traveling trader and he's mostly a trader, he actually gives really good news updates and different things like that. And when he talks about which stocks he thinks people should buy, he actually talks about very good quality companies. So I actually like the traveling trader. Now, he does have a course, so maybe I will actually give him a 4 because He does the whole course thing too, which is his real business. I told you, all these guys, the courses are real business. He has like an options course that he sells. He has like a Discord and everything like that. And don't get me wrong, I like the guy. But on the grifter scale, I cannot give somebody a 1 that has an entire course trying to get people in it. You guys know me. I'm just not really a fan of courses. I think many of them are scams. I'm not saying that the Traveling Traders course is a scam because I don't know. I've never been in it. I have no idea what it is. But based on what I see on his YouTube channel, I do like the Traveling Trader. Now we're moving on to one of my favorite YouTube channels. We have the Investor channel. Colin with the Investor channel. This is our first 1 out of 10. So on a scale of, you know, the grifter scale, Colin with the Investor channel is going to get a 1 out of 10. If you are a beginner into the stock market, if you're somebody who's going on YouTube trying to learn about stocks, you've never done it before, Colin with the Investor channel is one of the best channels that you are going to want to follow. All right, we have a few more and we are going to speed through this because I'm tired. So we have ZipTrader. Let's see, on the grifter scale, I'm not as familiar with him as I am with the others because for some reason, even though the guy has like 700,000 subscribers, he's just not as popular for some reason. I don't know. It's like nobody really talks about him or knows him. He's kind of like this underground but still popular guy. It's kind of weird. But anyway, I have been watching this guy for about 2 years too, and he called a bunch of bad stocks too. I try to give people like him a little bit more credit because he legit calls himself a trader. So if you really know what you're doing when it comes to trading, it's not the worst thing in the world to talk about terrible stocks if you're just trading them. But I don't know. He also called some pretty terrible stocks. I'm not so sure that he was 100% trading them. And as somebody who's been watching his channel for 2 years, I do think that he got caught up in He got caught up in talking about all of the popular meme stocks and things like that for views, just like all the other YouTubers did. That's what I really think happened. So on the grifter scale, I will probably give him a 7. He's not the absolute worst. I haven't heard much about him being a grifter or a terrible person, but I would definitely say he is a grifter. I would definitely say that because I'm not so sure he has actual credentials or any reason for him to charge $500 for his stock course, which he does. He has like a ZipTrader U course program where he charges $500 for people to go in there. And like I said, you got to be careful with these YouTubers because at the end of the day, what is a YouTuber? Most of these guys don't have any credentials or even know what they're talking about. You don't necessarily have to have credentials to be a good investor. I want to make that very clear. You just have to know what the heck you're talking about. But the problem is most YouTubers are not anybody special. It's just a guy with a camera in a basement. That's literally all it is here. And yeah, I'm just being honest. So ZipTrader gets a 7 out of 10. Next we have the Plain Bagel. Automatic 1 out of 10. One of my favorite YouTube channels. Great channel. Not a grifter at all. So the Plain Bagel. I am going to throw some oddball in here. He's not exactly a finance guy, but he does expose scams. So I'm going to go ahead and bring him out here too because he will help you guys avoid the scammers and the bad people in the industry. We have CoffeeZilla. CoffeeZilla gets a 1 out of 10 on the grifter scale. Remember, that is the lowest grade you can get. 1 out of 10 means you're not a grifter at all. Not even close. And then the last person we're going to talk about on this channel. I know there's so many more, but I'm tired. Give me a break. And the video is like dang near 30 minutes. So we're going to cut it here. The last person I'm going to talk about, because I actually do watch this channel too, is the Money Guy Show. It's basically 2 financial advisors who just talk about finance. And they talk about like personal finance and stocks and things like that. This is a great channel. They get a 1 out of 10 on the grifter scale. And so there you have it. This video is pretty long. And yeah, I'm tired. There you guys have it. That's going to conclude today's video. Hopefully you got some value out of this. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one.